Welcome to Small Business Saturday.
Welcome to Small Business Saturday's video series with your host and my husband.
And my dad, Aaron Montgomery.
Join the conversation.
Let's talk some business.
Welcome in to Small Business Saturdays here on Saturday, October 17th. My name is Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me right up here at oursuccessgroup.com. Hopefully everybody is having a awesome Saturday here. And so 12:30 in the afternoon here in St. Louis, Missouri. And I've had a wonderful day. My lovely wife got me some donuts and coffee this morning. Appreciate that very much, sweetie. And then I ran off to get to play some volleyball with some friends. So it was grass volleyball outside. Other than the fact it was a little windy, it was a gorgeous day. And I actually started my day before that with a walk with my son, which was incredible, and really enjoyed the heck out of doing that with Lewis. It was cool because it was about a 20-minute walk, and we're talking about all sorts of different things. I love a 9-year-old's mind, just wide open and really creative, and so I just love listening to him. And then he said, "Dad, who do you want to win the election?" And I'm like, "Oh boy, political conversation." So, but the cool part was the conversation led to not necessarily a political conversation, but it led to a conversation about success principles. It led to a conversation about the 7 habits. So the school that he goes to, it's a public school here in St. Peters, Missouri, and they're what they call a lighthouse school. So they really practice and preach the 7 habits. If you haven't read that book by Stephen Covey, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And it's a really great program. And it's cool because it gives the kids, it gives the teachers, it gives the parents, it gives us all language to talk about certain things, about synergizing, working together, putting first things first. And so anyhow, really cool. And so I was like, man, this is a cool way to start my day, because I am crazy excited about what we're going to talk about here today. And Tanya, hello. Hopefully you're doing well. You hung in with us pretty late last night, Tanya. So that was fun. Appreciate you and Jay being there. We had a blast. And Angie, bringing your coworker in with you. We had a blast there at the Decorators Community Party last night. So thanks to everybody who attended that. It was a lot of fun. Let me know who else is checking in. I appreciate you guys being here. Today, we are going to start a 10-week program on the success principles. And should have pulled the book out. Maybe while the video plays, I'll pull the book out here. But the Success Principles is a book by a gentleman named Jack Canfield. And I am lucky enough to be going through a training program right now. And I was hoping to have it done by June of this year, but we all know what happened in 2020. It just 2020 happened to us. So my new goal is to get to complete this program by the end of the year. And so I thought this was a perfect way to get some of these things out there, to share what I've been learning with you guys, and to also help me practice sharing this. So when I take my test, it'll be fresh in mind. So excellent. Yeah, Todd, late night, more like early morning. Yeah, Todd and I we talked until 3-ish with Joe Tavar, who was over on the West Coast. So it was earlier for him, but he's a night owl to begin with. And then Todd and I kept going for at least another half hour, 45 minutes. So it was a great time last night. And Tanya, it was fun. She had a great time. Cool. Yeah, she friended me on Facebook. So that was awesome. I was proud to get to become her friend. Jerry, hello. Thank you. Good morning. Hashtag OSG. I love it. And Jerry, really love I really like Jack Canfield. He is it's interesting because they all have a very similar message. There's a lot of guys like Jack Canfield, or ladies, in fact. And I think from what I can tell is a lot of this stems from a gentleman named Napoleon Hill. And he was actually basically paid by Andrew Carnegie to write a book about how people create success. And he wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich. And one of Napoleon Hill's students, so to speak, was a follower of Napoleon Hill, was a gentleman named W. Clement Stone. And W. Clement Stone was the mentor of Jack Canfield. So it just kind of rolls down from there. And I think these things are really cool. And I think that I'm really proud to be able to share these kinds of programs and just different ways of thinking. I've really enjoyed personally digging into this, and it just really makes me feel like, well, what we're going to talk about today, be clear why you're here, finding your life purpose. So, we can get really wooey, we could get really big, or we can, stay in. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from you guys. But before we do that, what I'm going to do is this 10-week program is led by a video that Jack Canfield does. And so I will share this video with you guys. I will sit back and we'll let Jack talk. And then after that, there's a worksheet that goes along with it. And I will, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and put that worksheet into the comments right now. And if you're listening to the podcast version of this, I will get a link into the podcast version as well. So you can check that out and have that worksheet available. It's a PDF document. So just click on that. And then once we're done with the video, we will go through that worksheet together. And I'm excited. I'm excited to find out, what you guys feel like your life purpose is. I'm excited to share what I've kind of come to mine with a lot of help from Todd, actually. So thank you very much, Todd, and the OSG family and whatnot. So are we ready? If you guys are ready, let's dive in. So let me make sure I've got there. I'm going to get that. Okay. And I'm going to take down this banner. So we've got it out of the way so you can see everything. And then I'm going to mute myself and sit back. It's about 6 minutes and 10 seconds. So we will get started now.
You have just embarked on a journey that's going to transform your life. I'm so glad you've joined me for this journey. And, this is a journey, and there are many steps along the path. And I'm going to teach you a system that will literally transform your life. Now, think about a system. A system always produces results guaranteed because it is a system. And a system is about doing the right thing in the right way at the right time in the right order. And if you do that, you're guaranteed success. I don't care any part of your life. Now, it's very important as I take you from where you are to where you want to be, that you know where you want to be is. We call that a vision, and we turn that into goals. But before we do that, it's important for you to get clear about your life purpose. Everybody is born with a unique purpose, and you have the skill sets or you have the capacity to learn them. You have natural talents that you've been given that will help you fulfill your purpose. And today I'm going to show you how to get in touch with that purpose. Because if you don't, and you set goals and have a vision before you're clear about your purpose, you will end up at the top of the ladder, but the ladder will be leaning against the wrong wall. And you don't want that. You want to have the ladder leaning against the right wall that's going to give you the ultimate fulfillment, the joy, and the success that you were intended to have in life. Now, there are several ways to get in touch with your purpose. One is to look at all the things that bring you joy. If you were to do a joy review in your life and look back, what were the most joyful times? Those were the times when you were acting on and moving toward the fulfillment of your purpose. So think about, and you can take some time later today to go back and look at all the times you felt joy. And when you're on purpose, you are feeling joy. It's your guidance system. It's built into you. It's part of your DNA. It's part of your, we call it GPS. It's your global positioning system, like on a car. And you have an inner guidance system, which is your joy, your happiness, your fulfillment. Now, another key way to get in touch with your life purpose is to do an exercise that I want to assign you for homework today. And I'm going to go over it with you right now. You have on your screen, you have an ability to download a PDF file. And that PDF file has a form in it. It's called the Life Purpose Exercise. It's very simple and very easy. And what you're going to do is you're going to define and identify 2 qualities that you would say are uniquely yours. Like mine are love and joy. My wife's is spontaneity and authenticity. She is spontaneous. You never know what's going to come out of her mouth. And she's totally authentic. She doesn't care what you think. She just speaks her truth. For me, when I am experiencing loving people and experiencing joy, and I express those, everyone seems to love me and seems to grow in that context. The next question will be, what are 2 ways you most enjoy expressing those qualities? And for me, it's inspiring people, like when I wrote all the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, and empowering people, like I'm doing in this course that you're going through, and also in my book, The Success Principles, and books like Dare to Win and so forth. And so I want to give you the tools to be successful, but also inspire you with the stories that will make you believe you can be successful. And so you'll think about, what are the 2 ways you most love to do that? And it could be things like managing people, could be things like making art, could be things like running a restaurant, whatever it is, 2 things you love to do that help you express those 2 qualities that are uniquely yours. And then the next section is, if you were to describe the world as perfect according to you, what would everyone be doing? In my world, everyone's living their highest purpose, just like I believe you have a purpose. And if everyone was living their unique purpose, every need in the world would get handled. All the planes would be handled by mechanics and pilots. All the restaurants would have great chefs and bakers in them. All the great people that want to do music would be entertaining us. The artists would be painting. The lawyers would be lawyering, etc. And the world would work because all the needs would be getting fulfilled. Unfortunately, so many of us have been programmed out of doing the thing we were supposed to do, that's built into us in our DNA, because our parents want us to be lawyers or doctors or whatever it was that they had in mind that we should become. And then the last thing is, you take all 3 of those sections, you put them into one sentence. So mine becomes inspiring and empowering people to live their highest vision or their highest purpose in a context of love and joy. Now, if everyone's doing that and I'm doing that, then everything happens. And so here I am doing my purpose with you today. So make sure you take the time to fill that out, and then begin to ask yourself the question, am I living my purpose fully now? On a scale of 1 to 10, how fully am I living my purpose? And then begin to ask yourself the question, and we'll focus on this the next time we get together. What would I have to start doing differently to fulfill my purpose more? And it could be on a simple level, just walking into the office. Am I being as loving as I can to my staff? Am I being as joyful as I can when I miss my plane connection? Or it could be huge. Maybe you will need at some point to shift careers, change relationships. You don't know. But the point is, just start thinking about, what would I have to do to live my purpose more fully? Another thing I want you to do with your life purpose statement, once you've written it, and be clear, you may write it and the next morning you wake up and you realize you want to change a word or 2 because you've had more time to think about it. That's fine. But once you've written it and you feel like you have it, what I want you to do is put it somewhere where you're going to read it every day. Maybe you put it on your bathroom mirror, on your refrigerator, on your computer, somewhere where you're going to see it. And also, as I said, read it every day, but also tell a few people, like your best friend, your spouse, your person you're dating, that kind of person. So you're making a public declaration, this is my purpose. And then review that every single day so it becomes part of your consciousness.
All right. So there we go. That was the teaching, the training. Let me get this out of my ear. Don't need that anymore. All right. So Jerry, yes, I'm going to take this. Oops. Let's see here. How do I get rid of that? All right. Let me get this back over here. Okay. And let me just hit the link one more time, but it should be in the comments section there. And I'll put it in there one more time for everybody. Hopefully. There we go. So you can go get it yourself there. But I'm also going to go ahead and put this on screen over here as well. Let me just zoom in on it a little bit so we can get that shared. Perfect. Okay, so far, what feedback do you guys have? The thing I love about this, and is this not just our business life, this is Small Business Saturdays. And so obviously, if we can get alignment in what we're doing for our living, which is, most of our time that we get to spend in the world is, doing these things. But the other cool part here is that you find what you do in everything, and it starts to show up. Once you start to kind of get clear on this, it totally amazes me personally. And I don't know if it's just the way I feel about it, but it amazes me because once you get this kind of going in the right direction and you just focus on it, it seems to show up. So I'm curious from you guys, what shows up for you? So let's start with the first one here. List 2 of your unique personal qualities. And I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say. Tony, hello. Thanks for checking in. And Eric got me on the big screen. Hopefully, oh, shoot, I just forgot your cat's name. Hamlet. Is it Hamlet? Yes, I think it is. Okay. So hopefully Hamlet's tuned in too. I would like to know what Hamlet's 2 unique personal qualities are. And yeah, so let's see here. This applies to all aspects of our lives. Joy overflows into everything. Perfect, Jerry. I love it. Okay, so you guys, what are 2 of your unique personal qualities? I get to go first because I have the microphone. So for me, and here's another quick tip for you guys that helped me. So if you're struggling to find these things, there is it used to be called the Clifton Strengths Finder. It's now owned by the Gallup poll folks. So it's the Gallup Strengths Finder. And I actually had a gentleman on that is a strengths coach. His name, Dan Vincent, and he was on Small Business Saturdays probably about a year or so ago now. But by taking that test, I was actually able to really pull out some of these things. But the 2 that stand out the most for me would be significance, meaning I have this inner desire to make an impact. That's what drives me to do things like this. Think the empowerment that Jack Canfield said, I think that's why I connect with him so much, is that I feel that desire to have that empowerment in my life, to be able to empower others. So that's one, is the significance. But the second thing for me that makes me, I think, unique is I have what the Clifton Strengths Finder program called restorative, which is problem solving. And I am definitely one of those people that, somebody throws something at me and I immediately go into analytic mode of, okay, how is this going to work? What are the details of this? I love getting into the weeds. Now, I found that if I'm not careful, I let that get away from me and I start finding all the ways that something won't work. And so once I can kind of align the significance with the restorative, things become pretty cool. So let's see here. Hamlet is one of the 3. My wife really loves cats. His unique personal qualities are hunger and a desire to connect with people in the early morning over kibbles, preferably. Perfect. Hamlet, you're going to do great things in life for sure. Eric, what are your unique qualities? I can pick out several, but anybody else that's tuned in right now live, share what your unique qualities are, and just put it out there. And this is the best part, that there is no right or wrong, and you can put something out there now and it can change and it can develop and it can grow. I wish that it would take me too long to go find it, but I've been kind of working on this for probably 2 years now, just to get to this point where, significance and restorative really kind of stood out to me and came to the forefront. All right. So while you guys are getting in there and sharing your 2 unique personal qualities, I'm really looking forward to hearing that from you guys. Let's go on to number 2. So we are going to list 1 or 2 ways you enjoy expressing those qualities when interacting with others, such as to support and inspire. So again, since I got the microphone, oh, here we go. Let me, Missy, I love it. This is awesome. I'm positive almost to the annoyance of people. Missy, you are going to get along really well with my wife. She is right there with you. I need to not tease her. I know it's terrible, but I do tease her from time to time that some days I just want to get in her bubble. Her bubble is amazing. It's all rainbows and ponies all the time. And I love it. And it brings it, when I mentioned that sometimes I would get in my own way with finding the problems and finding ways things wouldn't work. It wasn't until I met my wife that I realized that I needed to change that and I needed to grow in that way. So I love it. I love it. So positive, that's one. You owe us another one, Missy. Good stuff there for sure. Eric, Jerry, Tony, if you're still tuned in, whoever's tuned in here, Todd, I know you were on earlier. I am looking for you guys here. So on to number 2 here. And once you guys get number 1, we'll get you to do number 2 as well. So, and again, we're just working through this right now. So take this PDF here, go work on it yourself, because this is going to pile on to what's happening next week, and all this stuff's going to come together. And it's a really cool program. And so, take some time with this, but just let's spitball, let's brainstorm here, so to speak. So number 2 for me. So I enjoy expressing the significance. I enjoy what Jack had said, empowering. I've kind of come to the realization that my core value, and we've actually used this as our success group's core value, to provide resources that empower business owners to achieve their idea of success. So empowering is one of them. And then from my restorative side, from my problem solving side, I do really enjoy, like I said, working out the details, getting from point A to point B, and figuring out how we do that. That I can lose all track of time when you put a complex problem in front of me, because for whatever reason, a lot of times I'm able to kind of see it in my head. The challenge just becomes getting it out and explaining it. So those are the 2 things for me. Let me get back to what else we've got here. We got some other people. Sharon, Curtis, awesome. I'm glad you're here. Good to see you, Curtis. Helping and encouraging. That's awesome. Those are wonderful traits. And then Tanya, inspiring and positive, which fits perfectly with what you guys are doing with the ICE program that you put together. I love how you're connecting the dots there. That's wonderful. All right. So number 2. So that's number 2 for me. So it's empowering and problem solving. So that's how I'm expressing those qualities with others. And then there we go, Missy. Empathy is my other. My husband calls me a peopleist. I read people well and can put myself in their shoes. Missy, that is a fantastic trait to have. So, and then Jerry says, try to help others to uncover the positive side of a situation. Oh, that's wonderful. The silver lining, the glass is always half full. And see, I really needed people like Jerry and Missy and my wife in my life, because I was the glass was half full and it'll never work. And as soon as I was able to tip that scale, boy, I was able to do a lot more than I ever was able to do before. So creative and empathetic. Oh, you guys, this is awesome. So keep that coming, keep inspiring. This is perfect. So let's move on to number 3, because I want to get through this. Because I want you guys to be able to now take some time. A lot of times I talk for an hour and then you guys have other things to get to, but I'd like to really kind of try to wrap this up in the next 6-7 minutes or so. And if you were putting aside an hour, take this 30 minutes right now while the things are flowing and just start writing stuff down. Again, there's no right or wrong. This is not a test. Nobody's going to grade it. And you're going to change it. I can guarantee that as you start writing this, you're going to change it a bunch of times. And some of you probably already have this, so it's just time to kind of put it in a different way potentially, and go from there. So number 3, let me take that one down real quick here. Okay. Number 3, let me scroll. There we go. Assuming the world is perfect right now, what does the world look like? How is everyone interacting with everyone else? What does it feel like? Write your answer as a statement in the present tense, describing the ultimate condition, the perfect world as you see it and feel it. Remember, a perfect world is a fun place. So for me, a perfect world is, I really, really value people that take responsibility, that take action, that kind of grab the bull by the horn, so to speak, that are, I find that I am truly inspired by the people that are willing to get out there. I think that's why I love working with small businesses so much, is because to be a small business owner, it takes guts, it takes courage, it takes a belief in yourself, even when you don't really believe in yourself. So for me, a perfect world is when everybody is, and the very first principle in Jack Canfield's Success Principles book is take 100% responsibility. I'm going to put my full screen up here and see if I can point at it right up there. E plus R equals O means the event plus your response equals the outcome. So again, no matter what the event is, no matter what's happened to me, it is also the event doesn't make the outcome. It's the event plus how I respond to the event is what the outcome is. So with that, so that again, that's to me is what the perfect world is. I actually, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of this, and excuse me, it's going to be tough to get through. I can tell already, but I just started the Gita. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's a Hindu text, and it's really interesting. And I've just gotten through the introduction. They actually haven't even started it yet. The first part of this was an introduction by a gentleman trying to basically turn it into a Western philosophy. And so the Gita talks a lot about karma and that whole thought process. And again, that thought process is kind of, to me, 100% responsibility, where everything that happens because of an action somewhere. But on the flip side of that, everything that's going to happen, I can affect that right now by how I act today, here in the now. So again, that's what it is for me. The perfect world is where everybody's taking responsibility for their own success, for supporting others, for living and achieving their idea of success. It's not for me. It's not for somebody else to tell you what success is. It just isn't. Everybody's success is going to be different. It could be money. It could be prestige. It could be just making the world a better place. It could be making your family in a better place. So anyhow, that's where we're at. That's what it is for me. I see we've got some other comments coming in here, so I do want to share this because you guys are really inspiring. Okay. So Jerry says, try to help others uncover the positive side of the situation. I think I covered that one already. Yep. Creative and empathetic. Tanya says, for her, the perfect world is where everyone is willing to collaborate, help one another, and get things done. Perfect. We're on the same wavelength, Tanya. And Jerry says, everyone is free to be themselves without judgment from others. I love it. That's great. Everyone lives and understands their values to themselves, others, and the world. And Jerry, I think we are friends. Hopefully. I know I call you my friend, so hopefully we can do that. Yeah, exactly, Jerry. Todd, where the heck are you? I'm waiting to hear from you. We had a long conversation in the middle of the night, and I was trying to figure out what it is for you that checks the box. And I thought we made some progress. So anyhow, all right. And then lastly, number 4 here is combine the 3 prior subdivisions of this paragraph into a single statement. And he's got lots of examples on the next page here. His example is, my purpose is use my creativity and enthusiasm to support and inspire others to freely express their talents in a harmonious and loving way. And then there's some other examples from other people. Awesome, Jerry. Yeah, I think I scared him off somehow. All right. So I think I've shared mine already, but I'll share it again. It is to provide resources that empower business owners to achieve their idea of success. So for me, when I break that down, when I talk about empowering, it's giving people tools, it's giving people the belief, it's giving people the support that they need, and not telling them what it is that they need, but just being there to provide that support, trying to put as many tools out in front of them as I can. And like I said, I love business owners because business owners to me are people that are willing to take the bull by the horn and get out there in a scary world and still believe in themselves and push forward and do all those things. And then to achieve their idea of success is the other part of that really stands out for me personally, because I don't like it when people I for the 20 years I've been in this industry, I've just unfortunately still to this day see too many of the folks that are going, just kind of saying, well, if you're not this, then you're not successful. Why? I don't understand that. Just because you're not $1 million screen printer or whatever the case may be, doesn't mean that you're not successful. So, anyways, that's the other part for me, the kind of the non-judgment zone. So, yeah, Todd, you missed out. You should have told him, nope, sorry, I can't. It's small business Saturdays. I'll have to call you back. So anyhow, all right. Thank you guys so much. So there's all that. Again, in the comments, there is this PDF. I'd encourage you guys to print it out, start filling all of this in. Feel free to fill this in. Feel free to post in the comments. Feel free to share it. Next week, we're going to start here. I'm going to kind of put some more stuff into mine, work on that. So I'd encourage you guys to bring yours next week, maybe take a photo of it so we can share it here digitally and go from there. Oh, excellent. Eric, let's see what we got here. Eric says, I have a hard time defining qualities about myself aside from analyzing my way of working. I want to be the guide for people that I once needed come through in the clutch in any organization I join. And he does that every Friday on Two Regular Guys. Eric, thank you. You always come through. And I join, reveal things that help and delight people through education and create both art and education that inspires. I know I need to break my purpose statement back down and build it up again. So, Eric, I do agree that, yeah, you want to break that down. Finding some of those tools, again, where you kind of get what your strengths are. And then for me, it also kind of was a combination. Well, it was interesting because I was trying to figure out what my core values were. But then when I figured out what my strengths were, that also basically equaled up and there was kind of an equal core value to a strength. And I found that to be very interesting too, that I was actually fighting from both sides of it. I'm going, okay, what are my core values? And then I'm like, well, what are my strengths? And then finally one day I had this light bulb go off and go, what if they're the same? Ooh, so that was really cool opportunity for me. All right. The fact that Eric is here to me is so refreshing. He is mega successful, but he is here with us. Thank you, Eric. I agree. And even on the big screen, I thought it was more for his cats, but I appreciate that he's participating with us as well. All right, cool. So what do you guys have? Like I said, I wanted to try to keep this to 30 minutes so you can actually take some extra time to go through this right now, hopefully while things are fresh for you. In Todd's case, you got to go back and rewatch it. So anyhow, all right, you guys, hopefully that was helpful. Next week will be week 2, and we are going to talk about where did it go? Here, do you know what you want? So we're going to figure out what it is that we want. So we've hopefully gotten a little bit closer to a purpose. Now, what are we going to do with that purpose? What is it? So when we talk about what the perfect world is, how are we going to create that? Let's get that vision of what we want. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. And we'll be right back here at 12:30 Central Time next week. And I think that's about it for me today. Let me just make sure that I didn't miss anything. I do encourage you guys. We'd love to have you be part of our success group. If you haven't already done the success tracker, jump in on that program. It's a great way to get you started and set a 12-month goal and reach it. In fact, Jerry is already a milestone victor. And I bet you she's going to crush her goal well before the 12-week period that she had set out to do. So oursuccessgroup.com/ST. And if you want to find out more about us, just go to oursuccessgroup.com, which you can see right up there. And I think that's about it. Let's see what other, Sarah says, I'll have to replay, tuned in late. And Missy says, nice lunch conversation. Thanks. Oh, I guess I can put those on the screen. Haha. Funny. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a great time. I really appreciate you guys being here. And again, next week, we will talk about trying to get clear on what it is that we want from our purpose. All right. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your Saturday, and I will see you next week.